To record now. And just a disclaimer that this event, that views and the opinions expressed during this event or this kwentuhan are of the guests and attendees and do not necessarily reflect the views of the United Nations and the UNSRC Philippine Cultural Society. So this event is neither commercial, religious, political, gender bias, nor racial in nature. And for those who are attending this event for the first time, Kapihan at Kwentuhan is a series of informal gatherings of Filipino staff members at the United Nations headquarters with specific themes based on various topics of interest. These events aim to get together, inform, motivate, and inspire UNSRC-PCS members on subject matters related to the Filipino community. Um, so so right now, I'll give the floor to our president, Rose Javier, to formally welcome again everyone, and and basically just start the event. Thank you, Rose.
Thank you, Florian. Hello, mga kababayans. Welcome, welcome, and thank you for being here. As Florian mentioned, this is the first of a series of events that we're planning to do called Kapihan and Kwentuhan, where we can come together as a community of the UN, of UN Filipinos, and get to know each other and support each other. So we are celebrating Women's History Month. And as such, we've invited our guest speaker who is quite distinguished. She's a distinguished member of our Filipino community here in New York. And we hope that this event proves to be informative and fun for everybody. Thank you for being here. And I give the floor back to Florian. Thank you.
Thank you, Rose. So before we officially start our kwentuhan, it is one of the requests of our speaker to start this event with a prayer. I know we don't usually do this in as a group or as mandated, but a special request of Mrs. Lewis. She want to start with a prayer. So to start the prayer, I would like to request Laura to lead the prayer.
Hi everyone, I'm Mrs. Lewis niece. Let's put ourselves together in the presence of God. Father God, we thank you for your goodness, your mercy, and your grace. We ask of you to guide us in today's wonderful discussion with Tita Loida as she shares to everyone here her story and all the important lessons in her life's journey. May her words inspire and minister to us. In your name we pray. Amen.
Thank you very much. Loida Nicolas-Lewis, a Broadway star. She has been Kim in Miss Saigon, and she has been called to join. Well, not specific part yet. Or there, here lies love.
Wow! Congratulations, Laura.
Oh,
So I have
I
to
know callback, but I mean, no,
I have
no,
to add
I
Tita
don't
Laura
know.
is actually a
But thank
very
you for
supportive
manifesting for
auntie.
me. But we don't know yet. Thank you.
Good luck, Laura. So basically, as Rose mentioned, this is a very informal gathering and get together of Filipino staff members. So but as usual, we are very familiar with how MS Teams meeting goes. So we have a raise hand button if you want to speak. So we will not be in chaos, and and then we'll have our a few questions already that we discussed with the board, and we would like to um to to talk about, like, to raise to Mrs. Lewis. But before we actually proceed, let me introduce who our guest speaker is. So as when we were waiting earlier, we saw like the news brief about who she is. But for me, it's a little personal. I have a personal relation with our guest speaker. I've met Miss Loida Nicolas-Lewis a few years ago because I'm very good friends to one of her nephews, which is like a brother to me. And every time I would meet Mrs. Lewis and every time I would read her stories, I was always in awe and I was always amazed on her brilliance, her resilience, her passion, but also her compassion. So when we were talking about what something to do for the club on Women's History Month, I instantly thought of Tita Loida because she has become a Tita Loida to me. Um, to introduce her, let me share with you once again a clip. Um, Here it is.
A leader in her own rights. Top woman business executive. Distinguished Asian business leader. A Filipina. Born and raised in Sorsogon City, Philippines. The consistent achiever in school and was involved in the Student Council and the National Union of Students.
After law school, she met Reginald Lewis. Their story almost sounds like a fairy tale. Boy marries girl, moves to New York, raises two girls, and then makes billions. Literally. The ambitious and driven Harvard Law School graduate who was raised by a single mom bought Beatrice, a food company, in a leveraged buyout in 1987 for $1 billion. Reginald Lewis was the first African American to lead a billion-dollar Fortune 500 company. Many may also not know his widow, Mrs. Loida Lewis, took over the company after her husband's death. She's credited for helping to navigate the company before selling it off in 1999.
She's also the founder and president of the Lewis College in the Philippines, as well as major sponsor of the People's Alternative Livelihood Foundation of Sorsogon Incorporated. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Loida Nicolas-Lewis.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Florian. And I want to thank all of you who are attending, taking time from your lunch break to have this Kapihan, Kwentuhan, and especially to the president of the Philippine Cultural Society of the UNSRC, Rose Javier. And I hear that she is a descendant of our national hero, Jose Rizal. And also to Monica Santos for being the Vice President of Internal Affairs, and of course for Florian Cabuyao, who is the Vice President of External Affairs. So thank you for having me here. Maraming salamat.
Happy Women's History Month, Tita Loida.
Yes, and all of those attending at the United Nations, really this is my first time. My first time to speak to all of you who are working at the UN. And I know that when it's June 12 or any Filipino feast, the United Nations stop working because all of you are the nerve endings, the lifeblood of how the United Nations work. So mabuhay kayo. Bravo.
Thank you po. Thank you po.
Brava.
Brava. Thank you po, Tita Loida. So we want to get to know you more, and then we'll talk about later like how you have become this icon of empowered woman. Actually, you truly are inspiration to all of us, actually, especially to us na who uprooted ourselves from the Philippines and moved to New York. You're you're um you're one of our people we look up to. Like personally, you're one of the people I look up to. So can you tell us po muna, like, were you how were you raised in the Philippines? Like how was it like for you growing up in Sorsogon in a province?
Florian, we cannot hear Florian.
So, last December, I turned 80. My father and mother was very instrumental because my father was orphaned when he was 12, and he lived with a rich uncle in Daet, Camarines Sur, who was very entrepreneurial. So as he was growing up, in his mind, I'm going to be entrepreneurial. I'm going to be rich like my uncle. So when I was growing up, we already had the biggest house in Sorsogon, and my father had dreams for me to become politician. So when I was 7, we have a movie house, Loida Theater. So when I'm grown up and ready to run for public office, I already have name recognition. But every weekend, when he comes from Manila, because that's where Nick for Furniture, the business that he has, after dinner, we would stay on the balcony overlooking Sorsogon, and that's when values are being transferred. He would tell us about the 5 secrets of his success, working hard, having common sense, being resourceful, and being persevering. Perseverance, he doesn't let anything deter him, and most of all, faith in God. And Mama was the head of the Catholic Women's Club, and I went to St. Agnes, a Catholic school, all girls, St. Teresa's, all girls, and then I went to UP for law.
Wow.
So say, what makes up Loida Nicolas?
Mhm.
It's all of that. Nobody knows I'm a lawyer here in the United States, so para bang hidden weapon.
Yes,
So,
yes.
for those of you who have not yet decided, and you have girls who do not know what they want to do, if they don't know what they want to do, study to be a lawyer. Then you
Yes.
can be.
Yes, yes. So your family was really a big influence in your personality, you would say.
Yes, growing up Filipina, as a Filipino woman in the Philippines, it's part of our DNA
Mhm.
that we are spiritual. Madasalin tayo. And so, especially since I was a colegiala, intern St. Agnes for 5 years in St. Teresa's College with the nuns from Belgium. So I think it is in our DNA to be spiritual, to be prayerful. Also, as a Filipino, as Asian, education is key. So I was class valedictorian in high school, cum laude in college, number 7 lang sa UP. Hirap kasi ng UP College of Law. Okay, so we aim to be what do you call it now? We aim to succeed. We aim to become successful. And all of you at the UN, hello, can you hear me?
I can hear Tita, but I think we lost your camera. Oh, okay. Hold on. We lost her in my speaker phone. Um yes, Tito, we lost you on speakerphone.
Tita, can't you unmute?
So her microphone, Laura, is the problem.
Oh no.
Let me try to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I'll connect. Yes, Tita. Can everybody hear Tita Loida now? But we can't see you.
You cannot.
We can't hear.
You- Can you?
Sorry. I am Ludite.
But
I
can you hear Tita Loida in my phone?
Yes.
Can, yeah.
We can hear.
Okay, Tita Loida, they can hear you, but they can't see you.
Oh, but it's going in and out.
It's not as clear as earlier.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not as clear, Laura.
Yeah. The, ayan, she goes in and out.
Can you hear Laura?
Hmm?
Can you hear Tita Loida?
Not right now.
Um,
Oh, okay, can you hear me now?
Yes,
Yes.
much better.
Keep talking, Tita.
Tita Loida?
No.
Yes.
There. Keep,
Oh,
keep,
how does it?
keep.
That's how does it sound?
Good. Good now. Good. Yes.
Okay, I
Better.
cannot get back. Sorry about that, guys. I am a Luddite, so I get. Ewan ko, I don't know how to.
It's okay as long as we could hear you, Tita.
Sige. Okay. Sige, continue na lang.
Sige po.
Next question.
So Tita, you were talking about you moving from Sorsogon to Manila.
You know, I studied at UP.
Opo.
Why? My father wanted to be a lawyer, but
Yes.
he became a businessman instead. Very successful at that. And so, of all his children, ako yata yung pinakamadaldal, atribida, walang takot. So sabi ko, ikaw, Loida, you will be the lawyer. So I became a lawyer. And when I passed the bar, he was so happy. He sent me on a round-the-world trip.
So that's
So-
when you went to New York.
Yeah. Not moved. I was here as a
Visiting.
tourist.
You visited New York.
Visit lang. My sister was studying at Columbia University,
Mhm.
and we would go back home, past Europe, and be and then come and start my career na. Okay, so I bought my father's dream for me. I was intending not to get married. In
Mhm.
fact, initially, I was going to the nunnery. I was going to be a nun. Pero nawala na when mama said, tapusin mo, Loida. You're a lawyer, you're a student. 2 more years, tapusin mo.
Yes.
So that's when I visited my sister in New York.
So this was in the late 60s?
Yes.
Late 60s?
Late 60s. I'm already a lawyer.
So
And,
mhm.
Florian,
Yes.
I'm telling all of this story, but I told all about it in my book. Why should guys have all the fun?
Yes,
This
yes
is
po.
a story of love, marriage, motherhood, and running a billion-dollar empire.
Yes, we will go through that too, Tita. So pero po you going to New York, that was the plot twist of your life, eh, because that's when you met the one.
Well, destiny.
Yes.
Actually, I don't fall in love easily. So when we first met on a blind date, wow, walang katapusan yung pagkwentuhan namin. Kung ano man ang sabihin ko, meron siyang, he could add something. He would say something, I could add something. But there is one thing that impressed me. When I was talking about, siguro I was talking about Joe Louis or Louis Armstrong, he immediately quashed. He immediately put that aside. He did not want to be pigeonholed as a
Mhm.
black man. And what he said was, I'm international. Wow.
Like all of us here.
I'm international.
Mhm.
And look, 20 years later, he bought Beatrice International Foods. 64 companies in 31 countries.
Wow. 61 companies in 34 countries.
64 companies in 31 countries.
In 31
That's
countries.
That's the billion-dollar company he bought on a leverage buyout. Anong ibig sabihin ng leverage buyout? Puros utang.
Wow.
That's what leverage buyout means.
Wow. Okay. Okay. So moving since you got married na po and then you stayed in New York or in the US in general. Can you tell us like po,
Gloria,
opo.
hindi alam ng maraming tao.
Opo.
Okay? I was when after the blind date, inimbita niya ako to go out again.
Mhm.
Katapos sinabi niya, gusto mo makita yung watercolor sa aking apartment. Ako naman, what do I know? Sige, punta ako sa apartment niya. Yung pala, pag pumupunta ka sa apartment of anybody, kayo lang dalawa, umpisa na to become intimate. Naku po,
Ay!
takot ko. Takot ko. But well, he is a gentleman, so he brought me home. So I wrote him a letter. I never want to see you again. I will only have intimate relations with the man who will be my husband. Yon, goodbye.
Wow.
Kita ka.
Wow.
Sinulatan ko, hinulog ko. 1 week later, tinawagan ako. Hindi yata na-receive yung letter ko. Labas di kami. We also had a nice time. And magpa-uwi na kami sa hotel, inuuwi na niya ako. Sabi ko, I wrote you a letter. And he said, yes. What? You received it? I told you, don't ever come back to me again. Call me again. And what he said was, Loida, I will never do anything you don't want me to do. Allah, tumba si Loida. And so I said no to him again 2 more times. The last one was after we decided we'll get married. Actually, ako ang nag-propose sa kanya. Florian.
Opo, wow.
So yung mga dalaga sa inyo, kung kayo ay ready na to get married and you have met the man of your life, kayo na ang mag-propose.
And then,
Ang ibig sabihin, tinanong ko siya, nasa subway kami, darling, do you want a big wedding or a small wedding? Sumagot, a small wedding. Where do you want it? Sumagot ulit, at NYU Chapel. And then suddenly he realized, anong nangyari sa kanya? I have a headache. So that's how we decided to get married. But after that, I had a change of mind. Sabi ko sa kanya, I can't go through with it. Uwi uli ako. So we went home, Relly and I. Pero alam nyo, kung talaga sigurong you're in love at mahal nyo, and I knew I will not meet somebody like him again, tinawagan ko siya when we were in San Francisco, darling, I'm coming back. And that's how we got married.
Wow.
He came to the Philippines and married me.
So you got married
in the Philippines.
In the Philippines in 1969.
In 69.
Yes. Wow. How long was it since you met when you got married?
7 months.
7 months.
We met in September. We were married in August.
Wow. And
8 months yata yun.
And the church wedding was in the Philippines pa.
In Paco Church, where originally the remains of Jose Rizal was buried.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
But the reception was at Manila Hotel.
Okay. Then you moved na po to the US and become like you become a mother of two daughters. How is it like po parang being married in New York?
Adjustment. Dahil sa Mr. Lewis would, as any man in the United States, my God, the curse words, blip, 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 SHIT. And, SB, son of a bitch, SOB.
SOB.
FF, naku, sunod-sunod yan. So alam mo, I am so lucky I had a good mother of my husband, Caroline Fugit. Dahil sa pag may problema ako, siya ang tinatawagan ko. Dahil sa mama will not understand. And so one time na talagang galit na galit ako, halos umalis na nga ako, tinawagan ko, Mom, I can't stand it anymore. And then she's so nice. In her quiet voice, Loida, yes. But if you're really that mad, go to the bathroom, spit on it, flush the toilet. You will feel better. Alam mo, tama siya. So because siguro, pag galit ka, and you express it out, nawawala. That's why you have to have good friends. Kailangan marami kang kaibigan na magaling para all of you, you can express your frustration to a friend who will accept it. And then because it's out, okay na.
And then how is it like naman po, how will you describe yourself naman po, Tita Loida, as a mom?
As a mom, naku, I don't say tiger mom.
Tiger mom.
Ibig sabihin, 6 months old pa lang sila, I started reading to them every night. Kay Leslie at kay Christina. 6 months old, Pat the Bunny, Good Night Moon, yung mga ganon. The bunny, I can't remember now. Basta, every night, I read to them. Hanggang sa they were 8 or 9 years old, na marunong na silang magbasa. So I will close the chapter. They will read while I'm expecting them to be asleep. Pero by the next day, ubus na nila, nabasa na nila yung libro. So that's one. Number two, walang television. No television Monday to Friday. That's why I am a little aghast na yung mga bata merong cellphone.
May iPad.
They are on it watching whatever they want to watch on television. So my daughters grew up, no television Monday to Thursday. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, yes. At saka limited time. And of course, very important. 2 things very important. Number 1, respect your elders. Dahil sa, that's very Filipino, very African American.
Yes.
As my husband's family, pareho kaming same, we have the same values. So you must respect your elders. At number 2, do your work. Ibig sabihin, you're a student, mag-aral ka. So just 2 things. Para sa akin, Leslie colored her hair green, okay lang. Magulo ang kanyang kwarto, hindi sila naglilinis, sige lang. Okay? Kayong dapat maglinis. Although in Paris, we already had a household help. So 2 things that was very important. Do your work, be a good student, and respect your elders. So, yun. At saka syempre, learn how to play the piano.
Tita Loida, while you were speaking po, I just want to share na some people in the room are nodding and smiling when you mentioned that you were a tiger mom and you were strict as a mother. Marami po nag-react. And for everyone's information, I just want to share as well na the 2 daughters of Tita Loida, Christina and Leslie, both graduated from Harvard University with honors. And both of them are incredibly nice people, very kind, very generous. They share their insights as well, very loving. Christina and Leslie are really great people. They're very compassionate and I have only good words to say for the 2.
Wow, thank you, Florian. Thank you. Yes. Yeah. So now it's my grandchildren.
Yes.
But I am just the Lola. So, I believe my grandchildren is God's gift to me because I survived my 2 daughters.
Meron rin po tayo dito mga nasa event na mga lola na rin. So I think they would agree to your how you describe your grandchildren.
Yes.
And
God's gift.
Tita, some I know a couple of people in the room actually recently lost their husband as well. So if you can maybe share some thoughts on or advice to someone in the room right now who's in grief.
Ay, naku, Diyos ko. Yan ang pinakamasakit na hindi mo, you don't want to wish to anybody that the beloved of your life will die ahead of you and so young or whatever age he is. So para sa akin, be gentle with yourself. At kung gusto mong umiyak, iyak. Gusto mong magulgol, hagulgol. Dahil that's natural and anything natural comes from God. And don't make any serious decision in the first year. Kasi sa first year, after you become a widow, talagang tulala ka, talagang hindi ka makakaisip. Kaya ako, I did not do anything for 6 months. As I said, hindi ako makasabi ng Our Father, thy will be done. Ang sakit-sakit. Pero salamat na lang tayo ay we are Christians, that we believe that God is with us, that He will not abandon us in our widowhood. Mahal tayo ng Diyos. So, kapit lang sa Diyos. Huwag mawala ng pag-asa. At one step at a time, titindig ka rin. Lalakad ka rin. So, huwag kang mawala ng pag-asa.
That's very nice to hear, Tita Loida. And that is very true as well. Tita Loida, today is actually we received a broadcast from the UN today. Because today is the International Day for the Elimination of Racial Discrimination. That's very coincidental that today is actually that day.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah. O, tayo mga Filipino dahil sa 350 years of the Spanish rule, we also are a little bit of a racist na in fact, ang tawag natin for African Americans, negro, and it has a negative connotation. So para tayong mga Filipino, we should not consider people on the color of their skin or on their economic status or of their sexual orientation. Why?
Yes.
Because we are all God's children. Lahat tayo ay adopted children of God. So bakit tayo magmamata sa mga ibang tao? Yung sinasabing mata pobre. O kayo masayang, ay nako, ano yan? She is dark. So what is that? Ang iisipin ninyo, ang character. Yan lamang ang talagang how God looks up into our heart. Yan ang tunay na judgment ng tao. And of course, please, who are we to judge anybody? So, let's just go back to basics. Love one another as I have loved you. Hindi ba yun ang sabi of the Lord? So, thank you, Florian.
Thank you po, Tita Loida. So for another issue po right now is mental health, and we're going to talk about mental health. Self-care is very important. For you po, like, can you share with us, like, how important is self-care for you?
Well, absolutely. I am 80, and you saw me. That's what 80 should look like.
Yes.
That's what 80 should look like. So, in terms of moderation in everything sa pagkain, moderation. And after a certain time, I find out I'm gaining weight. When I was around 44, 45, 46. So, anong dapat? No more rice, no more pasta. And it took me 5 years to take away rice. Una muna, no more second serving, isang tasa, and all that. So, that's what happened.
Slowly,
Hello?
opo. Yes. Opo.
Okay, so take care of yourself physically, take care of yourself financially. All of you should have
Yes.
a savings account, not only savings account, investing in the market or trying to own your own home, because that's the way to increase your wealth. All right? Kung sabi mo, ay naku, stock market, hindi ko alam. Di pag-aralan, ang daming mga libro dyan. Susie Osman, yung mga libro niya on financial literacy. Okay, if you are earning 1,000, ang gastos mo 1,200, you will never make it. I'm
Yes.
sorry.
Oo
10%
nga.
should always be set aside. Huwag yung gagastusin, hindi sa inyo yun. And 10% should be, pamigay. 80% lang ang dapat yung gastusin sa mortgage, sa rent, sa inyong baro, sa inyong sapatos, bag for school children. Okay. Financially and spiritually. Personal, your mental health. If you need and you can afford it, hire a therapist para, kung ano man yung whatever is bothering you na hindi maalis-alis, maybe you have to go to a therapist or to a confessor. Save yourself. So for yourself, financially and spiritually. Yan ang tatlong bagay na dapat nyong pag-aralan at asikasuhin. Take care of yourself. After all, we are Filipino women.
Yes.
We are Filipino women, and we can overcome everything.
Yes, tama po. Speaking of being Filipino, Tita Loida, you are a notable community leader as well. So, gaano po ka-importante or how important it is for you to be involved in the Filipino community?
Well, I have to tell you, you can have it all, but not at the same time.
Yes.
So, children were growing up, hindi ako pumasok sa Filipino community. I have no time for the Filipino
Yes.
community.
So, prioritize.
To my husband, to my 2 daughters, and to my career. So number 3 lang ang career. In fact, nagdagdag pa ako. Bumili ako ng real estate. Akala ko I'm a real estate magnate. I had, with my friend Angie Cruz and
Yes.
my mother, we bought a 37-unit building.
Wow.
Ako, yeah, no, that was crazy. That was crazy. So, anong nangyari? I got TB.
Oh,
Tuberculosis. I was at home. I could not go to the office. I could not do my work for 3 months. So, you cannot do it all at the same time. Yan ang aking, you have to check priorities. Anong pinaka-importante sa iyo? If you are single, then pinaka-importante sa iyo, your career and yourself. Okay,
yes.
be the best version of yourself. Look at the mirror. Do you want what you see?
Yes.
Ganun lang. Ganun lang. So that's what I did. And now, why do I look good at 7? I think it's time already magtatrabaho na kayo. Okay, why do I look good? Unang-una, yun nga, moderation sa pagkain. Alright? Plenty of vegetables and fruit. But ang pinaka-importante, moisturizer.
Moisturizer.
Moisturizer, and you don't have to buy the most expensive. I'm using Eucerin. Alright?
Mhm.
Sa gabi, talagang todo. Wash your face, clean your face with Eskinol sa Pilipinas, and then moisturizer. Dagdag ng moisturizer. Secondly, nadidinig ko sa radyo, here is for women who do not want wrinkles. You have to nourish your face, you have to moisturize, and you have to refresh. Sabi ko, refresh? Anong ibig sabihin niyan? Di spray with water? Ayun. Meron akong, bumili ako ng $1 na lalagyan ng tubig. Hindi naman. At least, spring water.
Mhm.
And then I spray my face 5 times a day. And that's it. Okay? Moisturizer, spray your face. And of course, the most important is be at peace with the world. Don't worry. Why? Worry will not add one inch to your height. It will not add 1 centavo to your 1 cent or $1 to your Worry ka ng worry, walang mangyayari. Okay? Just put your hand in God's hand and be at peace. So that's why I look as I am. 80 years old.
80 years old. You look amazing, Tita Loida. And at 80 years old, you will be launching your new book entitled "Why Should Guys Have All the Fun?" So that's
I'm Asian.
Asian American. Yes.
Amazon.com.
So that's why should guys have all the fun. So this is actually, Tita Loida, your memoir, right?
This is my memoir, and I took it from my husband's book. And for those who have sons who are boys, or those whose husband is aspiring to be, to increase it, whatever, they have ambitions, read my husband's book, Why Should White Guys Have All the Fun? How Reginald Lewis Created a $1 billion Business Empire. Yan ang aking mister. He is the first African-American to be a $1 billion deal maker.
Wow.
So,
$1 billion deal maker.
Why should white guys have all the fun? Yung libro ko naman, Why Should Guys Have All the Fun? And I'm inviting you all to Barnes & Noble next week, Tuesday. I will be on 5th Avenue, Barnes & Noble from 1 to 3. Or, kung kayo'y gustong pumunta sa downtown in Soho, I'll be at Barnes & Noble, Tribeca on Warren Street from 6 to 8. And doon, i-interviewin pa kami. Pero marami na akong nasabi ngayon sa inyo. So buy the book, please. Why should guys of all the fun?
Tita Loida, may mga nag-erase na, may
Blair Walker is my co-writer.
Blair Walker is the co-writer. Tita Loida, may mga nag-erase na po ng hand, so I have to entertain na those. Yes, meron pa po. So may mga nagtatanong. Okay. So I think, okay, let me just go through po the Yes, so I think we should proceed now with the Q&A portion because they were asking if they can take the floor for their own questions. So, April, do you want to start? April?
Yes, I will type my question para malinaw.
Oh,
Thank
sige.
you. Thank
No,
you,
read
Miss
it.
Loida,
Read it.
for your sharing your life story. We really appreciate it. I have a quick question.
Go, April.
Oh, do you want me to read it? Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
So,
Go ahead, April.
you know, there is a Pew Research Center study that says good connections beat hard work. And coming from a life of privilege and continuing to be successful, do you find this to be true for you? And if so, aside from your husband's influence, who do you take advice from regarding business? Because you told us earlier, right after your husband passed away, the corporations that he bought continued to flourish under your leadership. So, who did you take advice from? Or is there a team of business women supporting you? I'm curious to know. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Okay, sa business, when I took over, common sense muna. Okay, we were going bankrupt because our income was down and our expenses was up. So anong dapat gawin? Very easy. Cut expenses, increase income. So I sold the airplane. I let go of all the limousine. I cut my staff by half. All right? But I all gave them, I talked to them, each one that I was dismissing. I talked to them and I gave them very, very generous separation pay, and I retain those who I know better than I am. So General Counsel, yung dati kong boss, said, come over here. He was in Chicago. And then there was somebody in the business who knows all of it, Dennis Jones. So he stayed, and the 65-year-old tax expert, he stayed. And then my secretary, Lily Black, she's still my secretary now. And Bimal Amin was Mr. Lewis' personal accountant, so he's still with me up to now. Now, sino ang nag-a-advise sa akin? I've hired a CFO, yung banker who gave Mr. Lewis his financing for his first deal, McCall Pottery Company, Peter Offerman. So in other words, sino ang mag-advise sa iyo? Yung taong mas marunong sa iyo. And of course, I am helped that every morning I would pray. Meditation, quiet, 15 minutes. Dahil sa 15 minutes na, you are very quiet, you are counting your breath, 1, 2, 3. God can come to you and you can touch God in a way. You're not really touching God. Pero lilinis ang iyong pag-iisip. So yan ang those are my sort of like secret weapon. All right? And, okay, para sa inyo, you're still in an organization, look for a mentor. Somebody who's high up, who has a good heart. Okay, look to him and her, and then, maybe just say, can you be my mentor? So listen to them. Hindi lamang isa, siguro 2 o 3. Not necessarily in the office, maybe somebody outside. But be sure of your goal. Ano yung goal mo? Set your goal. Sulat mo. Ngayon, March 9, 2023, sulat mong goal mo. Huwag maraming masyado. 1 or 2. Tama na yun.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, April. We have Estrella Lagomo, her hand is up. Estrella?
Hello.
Star?
Hi. Australia. Lahom.
Lahom.
Yes, Tita Loida, if we may all call you that was a very
Yes, of course.
inspiring.
I'm Tita Loida.
Yeah, that was a very inspiring sharing, po, and it is really a privilege to have you with us briefly today. And we look forward to. I personally look forward to being part of the book launch. Yeah, maybe I see you there. Since we are celebrating Women's History Month and we're all working in the context of the UN, I wanted to ask you, in achieving your success and throughout your life being an expat as well, how much has the government helped you? And I think that's for us working in the UN context, or other, or more broadly in the international community as international civil servants. Um, it is an important lifeline, I believe. I have now been working for 13, 14 years within the UN, and I have observed the difference between treatment to expat of developed countries, so the first world countries and developing countries. And I wish that somehow the government will help us in advocating for their own people, when especially when they find themselves in difficult or in a situation of um, close to discrimination, or you more cultural differences not appreciated, and you are in a very volatile precocious situation. So I don't know whether you have had that experience, Paul, and what we can do, because yes, Filipinas are strong. Yes, we have proven we can do anything, but I think we can minimize our struggles, and we can also enjoy more our life, and celebrate our successes with a recognition and support. And I know this is something close to your and Tita Melly Nicolas heart, because of the Bayaning Filipino no award. I know that she has a spouse. Yeah, so over to you. Sorry for the long question.
Okay. First of all, yes, thank you very for that question. First of all, happiness is an inside job. All right. So I never expected the Philippine government even to come and help me. We have to take. I have to take responsibility for myself, and that's why after 6 months na natauhan ako, I took over the business. Why? Kasi if I will hire somebody and he fails, ang tuturo ko sa kanya, oh, but hindi mo ginawa ito? So that's why I took it over myself. So for all of those who are listening, yes, you might want, sana tulungan ako ng Pilipinas, sana tulungan ako ng UN. But in the end, you are responsible for your own happiness. And so don't look to others. Don't look to the Philippines. Well, now that I am, I campaigned hard during the election because I believe that the leader of any country, of any organization, pareho ng UN, the leader sets the pace. All right. So, para sa atin, tayong mga Filipino na narito, take advantage of what you are here. Can you see so many people on the border of United States trying to come in? But we are here. And congratulations being able to come to the United Nations because they have a very good retirement policy, health-wise, etc. So para sa iyo, mag-ipon, develop intergenerational wealth so that when you grow older, you have something to watch on, own your own home, stop renting. Renting parang, and then when you have 15 years at the UN, I think you can apply for a green card to stay in the United States. Oh, so yun lang masasabi ko. Happiness is an inside job.
Thank you, Tita Loida. Estrella says thanks. Estrella is a colleague from UNICEF.
Good.
Yes.
Estrella.
Thank you, Tita. Thank you. That is tops.
Let me check. Anyone else who would like to ask a questions or share a comment?
No, baka kayo mali sa trabaho nyo. So this is the last question.
Last question.
In the meantime, please come if you have time. Barnes and Noble on 5th Avenue, 1 to 3 on Tuesday next week. Or Barnes and Noble in Tribeca, Warren Street, 6 to 8.
Thank you, Tita Loida. Veronica is raising her hand. Veronica? Last question.
Yes.
Yes, Tita Loida, thank you so much. We're very impressed with your presentation. So just to be quick, I think we have something in common. We're both biracial mothers. The one major difference is
Ah,
you're rich, I'm not. So how was your experience raising
no, no, no,
biracial
no.
kids?
Just
And
wait,
what
just to be
advice
sure,
would you
okay?
give me?
I just finished my husband's job. I did not do it myself. I don't think I would have been able to do what he did, buy $1 billion company. So just to put things in perspective, okay? Continue.
What is your question, Veronica? What?
Oh, yeah, the question is how was her experience as a, you know, rich mother of biracial
Biracial
kids, and
raising
what advice would she give?
to
Raising
you
biracial kids
as a
for someone like
biracial
me, because
mom.
yeah,
Okay, so that
mom,
was her
yeah,
question po. So,
Ah, I see.
nap-
Your children are African American, Filipino.
opo, yes, yes. That was
So,
her question.
because, because, no, I didn't consider them African American. They are my daughters. So it was never, I was never telling them about their being black. But now that they are grown, they, I personally made the decision. I have to raise them as African Americans. I don't want them to be confused. Maybe now I'm realizing maybe I should have told them also about Jose Rizal, about Bahay Kubo, about the Filipino culture and history. So that is my fault. So maybe for you, talk to them also about the other half of their heritage. But as African American, always give them self-esteem because they will rise up to your expectation. So if you tell your children, stupid, wala kang alam, they will rise as stupid at walang alam. But if you expect them to be their best, you expect them to do well in school, you expect them to be kind, you expect them to be giving, to be responsible, they'll rise up to your expectation. So if just realize, yes, it is a racist society, but in your home, teach love. Okay, be loving, embrace them. Alam, just make them, let them understand that you love them strongly. Ano ba yun? Yung kanta? Is to love them, merely love them, simply love them, love them, love them.
Tita Rada, I wish you could see Veronica because she's
thank
nodding
you
in
po,
approval and she's smiling.
Okay,
For,
good.
for,
thank you po. Words of the
Ayon po
wise.
Diyos.
thank
Just
you.
love. Love is
Love,
the name
love,
of
love.
it.
Thank you
All
again,
right.
Tita Loida, for sharing your valuable time and wisdom to
Yeah,
all of us today. And
for
for
those
being, Opo,
for those who are listening, please buy the book, call your bookstore. Why should guys have all the fun? An Asian American story of love, marriage, motherhood, and running $1 billion empire by Loida Lewis and Blair Walker.
thank you, Tita Loida. And thank you for being an inspiration that women can also have all the fun.
Yes, of course.
So,
Salamat, Florian. And for all of you in the United Nations, the Filipino community, mabuhay kayong lahat. Continue to throw love and show love and be love.
thank you so much. So, friends, in celebration of Women's History Month, may we all be reminded that even though we care a lot, we are strong. That even though we cry, we are capable. And even though we are scared, we persevere. Let us not let others define our limits. That's what's the message we got from Tita Lloyd this afternoon. So, let me borrow part of the speech of the first Asian actress to receive an Oscar, Michelle Yeoh. She said, "Ladies, do not let anybody tell you that you are ever past your prime." Happy Women's History Month, everyone, and thank you for sharing your time with us, and magkita-kita ulit tayo sa susunod na Kapihan at Kwentuhan. Maraming salamat po.
Maraming salamat. Thank you, Florian. And to you all,
Thank
maraming
you.
salamat. God bless you.
Nako.
Bye-bye.
Thank
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 you
you.
you.
po.
Goodbye. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Bye.
everyone.
Lord.